We are Brightside Home Theater.
Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Brightside Home Theater Podcast, the award-winning home theater podcast that's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
the scenes.
Yes, yeah, I remembered this week, Steve.
That's all good, all good. I'm a little, I should we tell people then that we've been Oscar nominated? I'm not sure we should. It's a bit awkward. I feel embarrassed.
Yeah, it is. It is. We'll just
This is not a Razzie.
Yeah, exactly. So you just, I was always raised, let people find out for themselves. No need to speak up, And as John knows, at 5 years of podcasting, it's like, nobody knows we exist. You got to speak up.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I don't like to. Yes, there's a lot of irony there that I don't like to speak up.
Yes.
Tons of it. Oh, how's everybody doing this week?
Doing good. Good. Can't complain.
Yeah.
How about you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Glad to be sitting down and relaxing. And we got a lot to get to today. I was talking. Yes, you're right. Audio too low. Marcus Beeb. Is Marcus new? And audio too low?
I think he might be. Yeah, although he's already insulting us. I mean, he's new.
Yeah. What do you say now?
In addition to the sights, the sounds, the scenes, how does he know?
Smells. Yeah, exactly. Let me see. I'm trying. Let me look and see if there's anything I can do for my audio here. Input volume. That's that. Input levels. I don't know. Does this go up when I do that? Is it better now?
That sounds a bit better. Yeah, that sounds a bit
Does
better,
it?
I think.
Yeah. You sound a little louder.
Louder? Okay.
Yeah.
I just because I'm going for my MacBook for this episode, but
yeah, that sounds a bit better.
We'll see. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Hopefully I don't click on something and shut the whole thing down now. All right,
hey, if anyone is going to be shut down here, Deej, if anyone's going to be shut down, it's going to be me. Yeah, I'm the one experiencing a storm outside at the moment. But no tornado warning, so John is definitely cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcus.
So,
Marcus says good. Audio levels are good. So thank you, Marcus.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about that before we get on. I'm like, how am I audio? And John's like, you're a little low, but you're fine. I can hear you. But that's also coming from John, who's like as little of me as possible. So a little low.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really want you to come through all that well. So
I don't want you to come through all that well.
For me, it's fine, but
yeah, exactly.
Just hold up a sign when I need to talk, and I'll be good.
John's just looking at the calendar, going, "Can it be Wednesday, please?"
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so remind me next week. Don't ask John how he's doing. That's how we find out. You got a storm going there, Steve? What kind of storm? Like just rain, or
just wind and rain. Yeah. This is the second storm we've had this week. We had one a couple of days ago, which caused some, trouble. Nothing like, again, it's so quaint in English though, because your storms are cool. You have proper hurricanes and tornado warnings.
Yeah, right.
They actually do damage.
Yeah. Whereas we get, a little bit of a wind. It's still bad news, and it still shuts the country down.
Right.
But ours are very quaint compared to yours. Everything's bigger in America, and the storms are no exception.
Did you hear that, John?
Well,
That's
perhaps not
everything over here.
That's
why I stay in Texas. Everything's bigger.
Yeah,
that's why John wants to move to Italy. He's going to walk around going, "I'm an American."
Check me out. But yeah. So if you see me nervously glancing outside, it's because of the wind whacking against the side of the house. And if I put up an umbrella, it'll be a Mary Poppins special. Just see me disappearing.
Flying up.
Bright side weather report.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, Joe. So
Yeah,
Joe's saying snow couldn't make a footprint in, and I was stuck at Heathrow for 3 days. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Joe. The
Oh.
slightest thing here shuts the country down for good. It's embarrassing, frankly. And again, I mean, you guys say if you do come over, bearing in mind, I know in December on the East Coast, the snow is like half. It's Tauntauns running around and bloody Wampus.
yeah.
Whereas over here, we get an inch of snow and that's it. Country shut down, schools closed. You don't have to go to work. It's just
That's like
it's
John
Well,
down
it's
in
the same
Texas
here.
too.
Yeah, if we get,
Oh yeah,
we had a hard freeze and it was 30 degrees. That's like balmy for a DJ right
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Shut
Like
down the whole
legit.
city. They canceled school, everything.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah, like legit here. Finally, it's been a while. Last year we didn't get a lot of snow, so we just had a good storm, and it's snowing out right now. But it is nice to get down into the 20s and teens and experience that again. Because then you're right, when it goes to 30 degrees, I'm outside working and I've just got a sweatshirt on. I'm like, this is great, But if that's the lowest it goes, it's hard to handle. It's like you got to acclimate to it. And now I'm like, I was working today and I'm like, oh, nice, 31, 32 degrees. Look at that. Nothing's freezing. So, but
John, John's saying about tell him about the plane going to Dublin. Well, I know there have been a number of plane problems, issues with flights going to one place and ending up somewhere else entirely, and they've been circling and then going back. There was a plane in the local airport here at Bristol Airport, which is quite exposed, but it's only like a regional airport. You guys again would be like, look, it's like something out of World War II. Right, but for us, it's a regional airport. Okay,
right,
and there was a plane
it's
that took
so
3
cratered,
attempts to land
from the war.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. There's no Spitfires at the side of the road.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett aren't at the side.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a and there was a plane that took 3 attempts to land and then gave up and then went to Stansted in London. Which
I was going to say, how do you give up? Just crash?
Well, one of my colleagues was telling me this. My colleague said,
going up.
Bang.
Yeah. Well, one of my colleagues said to me this morning, she was on a flight yesterday where the pilot missed the runway twice and went round. And I said to her then, I said, well, either way, you were coming down eventually. But she didn't think that was very funny. I did. She did.
No.
She didn't. No. I mean, there's nothing scarier. I have been on a plane where the wheels touched down and then the pilot went up and just accelerated and went round again. So yeah, it's pretty scary stuff.
Yeah,
and a plane landing, sideways.
Yeah, we came back from Florida. Back in had to be 99. Yeah, 99, the year Meg was born. We were coming back from Florida, and in the winter, and we landed in Providence, Rhode Island, in the snow. And the plane comes down and it literally Fast and Furious drifted sideways and then it catches and kicks and goes back and we're like, and you're in your seat going like this back and forth. Right. And then the pilot comes on while we're still going back and forth. The pilot comes on and goes, whoa, Nelly. And everybody just started cracking up. And we're like, all right, as long as he's happy and having a good time, right. I guess we can too. Put your arms up, everybody.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say that the pilot came on and said, put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, no. Once you hear that, all right, I'm on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, quite. So John was saying, so the plane going to Dublin in Ireland circled for 3 hours and then went to Paris. So went to a different continent. I mean, we just can't deal with it here. We can't deal with it.
Yeah. Nope. Not used to it. Not used to it. That's 3 tries at landing and then gave up. I quit. I'm out. Where's my shoe?
That's it. Yeah. Parachute. Yeah. Just I'm out the side. Man.
That's not good. Our pilot just left.
Oh. Well, there was some again, my colleague was saying that they were flying back from Alicante in Spain and they stopped at Gatwick, which is a London airport, and they stopped to change crew. And apparently the pilot said, we have to change crew because I've only been qualified for 3 months. And so they changed crew for that flight to take off and land at Bristol because of the weather. The pilot wasn't qualified enough, didn't have enough experience. I,
to land.
I just
in that?
well, not in heavy wind, in like really strong wind because of the crosswinds. I mean, it doesn't
Jeez.
fill you with confidence, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No.
I'll be like, I'll walk from here. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the ground. You're not getting me back up.
Yeah, it's different if your Uber driver has a learner's permit, I guess, because you never left the ground, but it's still not a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although at least in fairness, our plane doors stay on. So
There you go.
you guys have got extra air conditioning.
Well, hey, you got to keep things interesting, Steve. You just got, keep the passengers on their toes. And now I can't wait. Like next time I fly, who would like to sit near the exit? Nope. Nope.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Why does I just sit on the wing?
I heard one report they found. I don't know if it's an iPhone commercial or what, but they found the phone that went out because they said one
fell out his
iPhone
hand.
went out.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It didn't crack. Yeah.
Whoa.
But here's the thing. That
You know
once
why?
It doesn't matter how high you drop it from because it's a phone. It's going to come down. You could drop it from 10 feet. You could drop it from 1,000 feet. It's probably hitting the ground at the same speed because it's a little bang, and
32
they
feet per second.
don't crack. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know why, Deej? You know why? It was in airplane mode.
There you go. Oh man, see, people they don't realize how long we rehearse these jokes.
I know.
It's
Yeah,
crazy, and they come off so seamlessly. That was nice, really nice. And John,
We
with
need to
nice
fire the
casual
writers.
laugh. John nailed the laughter in the back
Nailed
of
the
the laugh
laugh, yeah.
track down there. All right.
We'll credit Joe Coy with that one.
All right.
Not
Are we
amused,
ready?
Steve.
No.
Let's how you guys liking the new format on YouTube? I can ask you guys or people in the chat. What do you guys think about it on YouTube about coming out? I mean, the live stream's the live stream. This is it. Catch it. I mean, you can always go back and listen to it. But now the section, we're getting more comments from it. We're getting obviously more views per thing and requests. Like, did you see the one comment? Like, I don't care about
where's
this.
JFK?
Where's JFK?
Oh,
I saw that. Yeah.
It was pretty funny. I was like, geez.
feel free to scroll on if you don't care about it.
Yeah, it should have been. I'm pretty sure it's Arlington National Cemetery, isn't it? Anyway, sorry, no. Oh, he means the film.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, so that's I like what's going on there, and we're getting, like I said, we're getting more it sparked more interest, so that's pretty cool.
Is it take a lot of work to then put them out though, DG? You're having to kind of do a lot of work to top and tail them and put them
Not
out.
so
or
much
is it...
now. Yes, it's a lot easier if I just format the show and just put it out in one big chunk, but I've got a workflow down. I just save the show, and then when I want to do one, I go whoop, whoop, I cut off the ends, and I've got both my book ends on it, and that's it. So it has I have an open for it, I have a close for it. I just crop it, produce it, and put it out. And yeah, it's a little bit more difficult than doing nothing. but I've got the workflow down now pretty good. The hardest part was filming that ending that I had to do for myself because I hated that again. We're like, don't worry, I'm gonna get one from each of you guys too, so that way it's not just me every time.
I can do it in Spanish. That's fine.
John
That's
knows
easy.
how much, but we have the outtakes of John trying to do the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's with video. So John's
Even
like,
better.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm sick that day.
Yeah, exactly. So all right. Steve, you want to go through the chat? How are we looking in there?
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
see
it's
before
okay. Yeah. We've got a fair few. We've got the usual suspects. So Scruffy's in. It says let the party begin. Steve Att, of course, in the chat, just tapping his toes. I didn't realize we were that good at rhythm. Fair play. Okay, right. So Dominic's in, Van Gool's in, Paul Hurt is in. Says, hope we're all doing okay. We are indeed. Joe Hertzel rather cryptically just puts up a clapperboard. I hope that means sort of action rather than cut, but who knows? We've got Marcus, as I said, we think maybe new. And Mikey's dropped in, John's in, and Eddie Trochet's just dropped in with a very, very casual sup.
Sup.
Sup, dude.
That's
Yeah,
that's,
so,
that's
we're
the
all here.
obligatory sup from Big Bang Theory. It's all you sup. It's all we're reduced to. Sup.
Sup.
Sup. Yeah. I got some
We're all here.
comments from last week's Eddie's show last week. Got some comments from that, or 2 weeks ago, I think, and then Ara's was today. And people comment. I just got another one while we were sitting down about Ara's today, and us, Ara and I said when I wrapped up with him, I go, I think Ara and I talked about stuff. Oh, Kevin, hi guys, first time catching you all live from Sweden.
Nice.
Sweden.
Don't upset Deej. Don't do the accent. Don't start going English.
No, that was a quote from a
don't
movie.
do that.
Bork.
Oh, that's right.
There you go. That was a quote from a movie. That's not me. Yeah, exactly. What movie was
That's
it?
all the Swedish I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
IKEA. Come on.
That's true.
Sorry, Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. We're not normally like this. I apologize.
Yes, we are. Don't
Oh,
lie,
yeah. All right.
Dylan.
Okay. Well,
I say don't
yeah.
lie.
It's the first time catching us live. It didn't say it's the first time ever seeing three donkeys sitting on a bus bench.
Thanks for joining in, Kevin.
Yeah.
Allow me to apologize.
Sorry to see you go.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh boy. What was I just saying? I don't
That's
know.
what I
Oh,
was just-
Ara and I were talking. We started reminiscing about like the old days of TV and everything. And I said to Ara, and I go, I swear to God, I go, this is stuff that we've never covered on this show before. Like just going back to like rabbit ears and talking about a few different things. So, and I've gotten comments from people already like, oh my God, I remember that. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Weird.
John and
I'm
Steve,
too loud.
Now we're too
you're
loud.
too loud. Well, okay. So, like always, it's streaming. It'll be all cleaned up in the other audio. So,
I
I
can
don't.
turn my mic down, but
No, I leave everything the way it is now, because then when I go back later, if your audio levels change, and now all of a sudden when I adjust it later, it ruins everything. So we are where we are.
I'll just I'll just try to talk softer.
Yeah, and like Steve's saying,
I'll
or
talk
DJ's
like
too
this.
low, or this. So I'll work on mine from the other side later, but it's
I'll talk like this for the rest of the show.
It's
Oh,
sexy.
This is my
John.
Batman. It's my
John.
Batman voice.
John After Dark.
I'm
I
Batman.
was going to say.
Yeah, there we go.
Sexy John.
All right, we ready to get to our first experience of the week here?
Sure.
I think I just want to hear more from Sexy John.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. Oh, smooth.
That's it. There we go. We just
Yeah,
left the
that-
mic open for him,
Oh,
and
man.
he's got
Quick
nothing.
brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Oh man, see, it's very cool, mildly arousing. Just saying.
I mean, I do have a Coke can right here, Steve.
Yeah, but I don't.
You guys want me to give you a minute?
Yeah.
Caffeine will kill you.
Little
A
pre-show
little
jokes.
off-air-
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say a little off-air in joke that we can't explain.
Yeah, and I don't want you to.
No.
Oh, jeez. All
Oh,
right.
hello. Yeah.
What? What I did?
Paul's more double
Oh.
entendres. So Paul Hurt says, "Welcome to my world, DJ. It's often called pulling the knobs off."
Yeah.
There's no double
That's a
entendre there.
different term over
Yeah,
here,
nothing
too.
at all. We are a couple of knobs, but
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Yeah, it's like watching a Nolan movie. So
Yeah,
apparently,
yeah, all the
Yeah, 'cause
dialogue.
it's not in
is too
Atmos?
low.
It says at the end of the show in the thing, not in Atmos. So, oh man. All right, let's get to our first experience here, and we're gonna wrap up with our. We finally got the final episode of Reacher season 2, and that's episode 8, and on Amazon Prime. So, yeah, what did you guys think of this? Now that the season's all wrapped up and everything, and what did you think of this season?
Yeah, John, do you want to jump
Yeah,
in?
I mean, I dug it. I mean, I like, I mean, we had talked about the first 7 episodes last week, so
Yeah.
something pretty bad would have had to happen in the finale to change my opinion of it. But I thought, I mean, I really enjoyed the season. I still think I liked this a little better than season 1, even though I enjoyed both of them. Like we mentioned before, home theater wise, I don't think this was anything to write home about necessarily, but and I do have a comment, but I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil anything for people that might get irritated by spoilers. But I felt like there was a little dead weight at the end of episode 8. I don't know, but
Interesting.
yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
I really enjoyed it too. Yeah, I'm with John in terms of I think it's about the same as season 1, but for different reasons. I like season 1 because it was all new and they kind of the way they did it. Season 2, I really liked because they changed the dynamic. So he's got his team. They're shooting season 3 at the moment, by the way, and it has been confirmed that it's going back to Reacher, not just on his own, but properly alone, apparently.
Right.
So they are trying to mess around with it because in season 1 he has a couple of people helping him, doesn't he? And then 2, obviously he's with the team, and 3 he is on his own. So I am reliably informed. But no, I thought it was great. There's not much more I could want from this other than better AV quality. But it doesn't mean it was bad. It's just not what we're used to from some of the other streamers. But it's a great series. It's great fun. And as we've said, look, let's hope that these guys will just keep doing this because it's also easy to watch. You don't have to pay rigid attention to everything going on. You can just sit down, relax, and just kind of let it go. And that's TV that's a little bit lacking these days, I think, sometimes. So many of these shows, you've got to pay attention and not take your eyes off the screen. Whereas this, I think, just kind of you let it wash over you and wallow in it a bit. So I really enjoyed that. And certainly
episode 8 had a bit more of what you thought was lacking in the first 7 episodes, Steve.
Yeah. Well, it was quite. Yeah, it was, and I agree with you at the end. It was a little bit of a strange. It had a Return of the King style editing, where you had kind of different things, which was a bit. I was waiting for the credits to roll, and it'd be 3 months later. This is what happened. One of them went off and founded Disneyland, and the other one then joined a convent, and there was a little bit of kind of how that went, but it was great. And so really enjoyed it. What about you, Deej?
Loved it. And I think all the times we talked about it before, I was saying that I love this. I liked it. I was with John and I liked this season more than season 1. And I can say, at least in my own opinion, I think that was recency biased because I had so much fun with this that I went back and I watched I've got 1.5 episodes left of season 1. I grabbed on Kaleidoscape. I grabbed Reacher season 1 on Kaleidoscape. It's only in HD with DTS Master Audio 5.1, and oh my god, it's, if you get the opportunity to get the disc and you really like this season, you want to support physical media, get this. I don't care if it's, I mean, the disc might come out in 4K, I don't know, but this in HD blows away the Amazon Prime 4K with Atmos, because I mean, we all know that the audio is compressed. Right. It's so like that's Atmos, but it's not. It's just it's compressed sound. It's not. I don't care what label you put on it. The DTS Master Audio on this is just it takes it to another level.
Is
the
season
gunshots,
1 on
everything.
disc?
I think it is.
Yeah, it's on 4K over there. I believe so. Yeah, didn't we have this conversation before? Wasn't it Nelson?
Maybe we did.
They got it. I think Nelson
is.
Oh, they were saying somebody was saying it was coming out, but I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, Jack Ryan. The Jack Ryan series is out. But
Nelson said he bought it.
Oh, sure, there it is. Yeah.
Dominic is saying in the chat that season 1 came out on 4K.
Yeah,
I don't. I honestly, I don't need it. I mean, it looked so good in HD, and it sounded so good. I was just like, wow. And I just binge watched the entire thing. And the storyline in that, I was like, oh, I don't know if it's, I think there's a little bit more exposition in the first one because we don't know, if you're just coming new to the character. But there's some background stuff there having gone through season 2 now that comes up in season 2 where he talks about his team. He talks about it's really, really good. So I can't wait for season 2 to come out again so that I'll probably binge watch that. Because like you said, Steve, it's an easy watch, but if you want to invest the attention to it, there's a lot to take from it because there's, as they say a bunch of times in season 1, not so much in season 2, but in an investigation, the details matter. And they say that like 5 times throughout the season. The other one I like in season 1 is like, it's a weak mind that curses. They keep saying it through the season because that one character, it's, he just doesn't swear. It's pretty funny. And I like that because, anyways. But yeah, season 1 was really good. But yeah, if it's out on 4K, Dom is saying he bought it.
Yeah, it's $28 on Amazon. So it's not bad.
Yeah,
for
not
a
bad
season.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering...
So Kevin hasn't immediately left the chat after our terrible Swedish attempt. So that's good news. So Kevin says, do you like procedural shows, Steve, contained within an episode with an overarching story spanning the season? Yes, generally, depending on the show and the story. But where I have a problem, Kevin, is because I'm a lawyer. If it's criminal stuff, then that's when I struggle. So I can't watch police procedurals because I just get, I irritate the living hell out of anybody within a mile radius of me, especially if it's English stuff, because I'm just like, well, that wouldn't happen. Well, that too. Although that's not a procedural.
They're not allowed to film procedurals in Spain?
Well, they can, but they just don't call it Afghanistan.
Right.
As long as you call it Spain, that's fine.
That isn't Spain.
Yeah, well, indeed. I mean, look, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, all shot in Spain. The last part of that is in Almeria. But and I do have some issues with that. But not as bad as the Covenant, which, like I said, if it had had my house in it, couldn't have been any more obviously Spain.
All right. Is there anything left on Reacher? From Reacher season 2, season 1 is already out physically, so grab that. If you like if you like the character in these shows, I think they did a great job with the show. So, all right.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we have next here coming up? Oh yes, this should be quick. To take a term from my buddy John there. So here we go.
Oh,
role play. John talked about it last week, and I went and I think I watched this right after the show. So another Amazon original role play, Kaylee Coco, and what is it, David Ilo?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, he's an English chap. Yeah, he's a British guy.
Okay. Yeah. Everything that John said last week is pretty much right on. Like it was fun. I didn't think it was as fun as Family Plan though. I thought Family Plan was better. The movie wise.
I think it was trying to lean a little more comedy than role play was though. Like Family Plan was supposed to be a little more fun than role play was.
Okay.
But I mean, in my opinion,
but you know what what I found, like, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. It's like, I enjoyed it. I thought the home theater experience was Amazon original, it's like, I mean, it wasn't really anything to write home about. It was, but I felt like, to your point, John, it's like, if it wasn't as much comedy and they were going for action, I feel like they missed on that too. Like, I didn't feel like I was like, oh, wow, this is a great action movie. It's just like, this was kind of like, it was a fun time. I went down just to watch the beginning of it. And I told Jen, I'm like, I'll see if it's something that maybe you'll watch with me. And because I felt like she would have enjoyed Family Plan, but I didn't think she would. So I just watched the whole thing and I'm like, but this one here, I was like, no, you wouldn't like that one either. And I felt like it kind of missed on both marks. It didn't have the comedy of Family Plan but it had about the same amount of action. Do you think it had more action than Family Plan?
Not necessarily. Like, believe me, I'm not coming to its defense. I was just saying that I think Family Plan was geared to be more fun than this was. Whether this hit the mark or not, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This was supposed to be a little bit more serious. You know, and again, whether it succeeded or not is, I guess what we're talking about. But although it does say comedy action right there on the description now that I'm looking at it. But I mean, like I said, I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Like you said, the home theater, other than like I said, the last 20-25 minutes or so, I thought the home theater part of it was a lot better. All that stuff in the, well, I don't want to say.
Yeah, don't give it away. But
I don't want to say. But, you heard a lot more engagement from all your speakers. Let's put it that way.
There was some nice echoing going on.
Right.
Some nice placement around the room in that final scene. Yeah. But to be honest with you, it's like all the way through the movie, I was like, oh, okay. There wasn't really much. Then when we got to the final scene, it's like now I can hear your voice in my head going, oh, this is that final scene. So I kind of was like, because it was good, but it still wasn't like the entire movie itself was. It was fun if you have nothing else to watch and nothing else to do. I mean, definitely.
Right. And this could definitely be watched on, a non home theater system. You could watch this in your bedroom. You can watch it anywhere because the ending isn't enough to make it worth having to like fire all your gear up just to watch this movie. But like I said, it was enjoyable. Like I said, I don't know that I'll watch it again, but
no.
I thought it was okay.
It's kind of forgettable. I mean, it's fun. And I'm going to come at it from the opposite approach. If you're looking for something to watch, it's fun and easy to watch, just it's under 2 hours, barely. And you're in your theater, then it is enhanced by that. But I think if you just watch this in your living room, you'd be like, okay. It's even lesser to me. Because I was like trying to find all the home theater parts in this and okay. So, but yeah, it's Family Plan's definitely better. So, all right, that will do it for that one. Let's see the next one we have. Oh, this one I can't wait to hear about from you, John. So, yeah.
Well, me either. What is it? Oh, well, this will be fairly quick just because this was in the theater. But this is The Beekeeper, the new Jason Statham action thriller. Jason Statham action thriller. So yeah, we went to the theater to see this on Saturday. This is, if you've seen the trailers for this, is exactly what you expect it to be from a Jason Statham movie. This is super silly and hokey, but just tremendously fun if you like Jason Statham and what he does in his movies. It's that same old one guy plows through 900 people without a scratch. But yeah, this will be, depending on who puts it, I'm not sure what studio is going to put this out on disc, but I mean, this should be a fun disc. The home theater experience should be pretty good because it has all the stuff, all the explosions and the guns and the cars and everything you'd want from like a home theater experience. So it should be fun. I wouldn't rush out to the theater to go see it. My wife and I had Saturday off. We wanted to go to the movies. There wasn't a whole lot playing. And, so I don't know that I would have rushed out to see this on, if there was a packed theater full of good movies. But when it comes home, definitely check it out. And it should be a good disc. And, like I said, it is all the Jason Statham action that you could want. So,
yeah, it's a David Ayer movie.
Yeah,
it's a David Ayer movie. Isn't it? So he I mean, we know from Fury and movies like that he can put a decent film together when he wants to. And I feel like he needs a bit of love after the poor Suicide Squad
Yeah,
issues
and
that he's been going through.
The concept is interesting, but nothing super original. Just covert government program that nobody knows about. Training people to do things. So
called the Beekeepers, and
called
his hobby is keeping.
Right, and of course, he has to be a beekeeper on top of it, just to be completely on the nose. But yeah.
So obviously without any
see it at home, but yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Without any spoilers, John, does it have a sting in the tail?
Yeah, it does.
Oh boy!
Don't tell me to buzz off, Deej.
Oh God. How is this doing? Is it something that we may be getting sooner rather than later?
It was number 2 at the box office on its opening weekend, and I think it did about $6.5 million. So that is not great.
John says, and if someone would know, part 2 coming in 2026.
Well, this definitely feels like a franchise for him. Like this is something, again, because it's something like John Wick, or I don't want to say James Bond, because James Bond is infinitely better. But I mean, it's a premise and a character that could just go on, as long as they want it to, like Reacher, or as long as they want to keep doing Reacher, they'll keep doing them. This is the
Reacher,
same thing.
Jack Ryan, James Bond.
Is that that must be worldwide, John? I think 15 million.
Yeah. So
because I think they said here in the US it was about 6.5 million. So
yeah. Oh, sorry for someone.
Okay.
See, they're all getting in on the act now. Don't we have a buzz about part 2? Yeah, it's plenty of buzz. There you go.
Be a long night.
What is it? Beekeeper 2, the Hive. What's it going to be? It's going to have to be.
Oh God, Jesus. All right, honey. What's next?
Maybe they'll call the second one The Raid. Oh, anyway, never mind.
I got to get it off the screen.
Yeah.
Pull that down. No, actually, I was waiting to hear what you thought of it. I was going to text you and see if I should run out and get it, but it is one that I just off of the trailers and stuff, it is one that I was looking at it, waiting to get at home. Because I feel like it's going to be a great experience at home just off of the trailers. And
it will be. Yeah, like I said, I think it will be. It should be, as long as the disc is done well, and they all seem to be these days. It's a rare disc that is done poorly,
Yeah.
Well,
especially with new movies. I mean, most of the problems people have with discs these days are restorations of older movies. Anything that's new is generally pretty solid, so it should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Steve, you ready for your for this?
Oh,
all right.
Yes. The question is, are you ready for this?
Exactly.
Oh, I've been wanting to hear about this. So
yeah. Okay. So this is Saltburn on Amazon Prime. Let me apologize first, guys, for the awfulness of that picture. That is a picture taken from the living room TV, not the theater room, because I watched it in the living room. And after having spent 2 and a bit hours, it was late. And I thought, I'm just going to get a picture from that. So apologies for that awful photo.
Oh, it looks good. Looks good.
Oh, man. Look at it by the top right corner. Look at all the sort of the fizzing and stuff around the Prime logo. That's dreadful. Sorry. Anyway, enough about that.
So the earlier about images on that we display, it doesn't really matter because who knows what they're seeing on their side, and it's like, it's just a representation so people can find it for themselves.
Oh, well, there you go. That's
the audio only people, they don't care either way.
Right. That is true. That is true. But they will care that I say Saltburn, so they know what I'm talking about.
Yes, they will. Had you not said it yet?
Yeah, I think I did. Maybe you did. Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to be very careful here because anyone called Geordie listening into this will have some sort of conniption fit. So let me just say, Geordie, or anyone called Geordie, or anyone that is bothered about any spoilers of any kind, then skip ahead or pause and see the film and come back later. because to set this up and explain what this is, I've got to lightly spoil the story. I'm not going to give away any of the real serious stuff. Oh, and there is a warning coming, Deej. I know you don't like them, but there is a slight warning for good reason coming. So this is a movie that is you've got Barry Keoghan, is I think how he says his name, who is everywhere at the moment. Yeah. He is a chap who is appears to be working class. He is on his sort of uppers, and he ends up in Oxford. And he goes to Oxford, and whilst he is there, he is exposed to all of the toffs, the very poshest of people. And he wants to be one of them, and they think he's a bit of a curiosity. So they decide to sort of take him under their wing. And one particular person called Felix does that, and invites him to his family pile in the country. And that is called Saltburn. So there you go. That's where you get the name from. And then and from there, it is a sort of thriller, drama, bit of both. And this is directed by the same director of Promising Young Woman, which was a fantastic film from a couple of years back. And so, yeah, so that's kind of what happens. And things aren't kind of quite what they seem. Things develop, and it goes from there. 2 hours and 12 minutes, and it is never less than riveting. You won't be able to take your eyes off the screen. However, and here is the I'm being careful, John, what I do, not as in John Thompson. I'm careful what I say. Even putting that up is probably more than I should say. So and so from there the story develops. I have to warn you guys though. Okay, I've got to. I can't in good conscience. The
dance scene that you're going to warn us about?
No, well, no, that is there as well. You'll never listen to Sophie Ellis-Bextor's "Murder on the Dance Floor" the same way again. That is for sure. But there are a couple of scenes in this. Bear in mind that I am a horror junkie, and I've seen movies like Terrifier 1 and 2, which I think show stuff that has never been seen on the screen before. And there are a couple of sequences in this where I felt physically sick. And on one of them, had it gone on any longer, I would have vomited. Oh, I'm not saying what it is, but I think you need to know, because what I don't want, in good conscience, is anyone watching this over dinner. Because you watch this over dinner and you're going to be seeing it again. Not the film, your dinner.
Dinner.
All right. And that's not the kind of repeat viewing you want.
No.
So, yeah, so I go into this knowing that, wow. and I'm not saying what or how or when, but just beware. Yeah. Anyway, but it's riveting, and the person I saw it with was riveted, who is famous for falling asleep during movies, and they watched it and really enjoyed it, and the rest of the night and the following day we were talking about, is it this, is it that, what was the meaning, what was the character doing, why with it, and that's the mark of a solid movie. It's not a home theater film for me because it's in 1:3:3 as well, which is odd. So 4:3 ratio. So you've got bars at the side for those who aren't initiated, although I'm sure everyone listening is. So you've got bars at the side, and I don't quite know why that is. It's an odd decision to make, but it's not a theater film. It's not going to have any massive audio stuff. There's no action beats in it. It's a drama and a thriller all kind of rolled into one. So you can watch this in the front room as I did and still enjoy it
with a TV tray and
experience it. Yeah, well, yeah, it was definitely after dinner. Yeah, don't do it. And John, do not do this on a Sunday evening. Whatever you do,
yeah,
you have been warned.
I'm trying to decide if I should watch it with my wife or if I should just watch it by myself.
Oh man, John, honestly, mate,
maybe we'll chat. Maybe we'll chat for a second afterwards. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I want it. Well, I'm more intrigued than ever now. I know it turns.
I think it's a film that needs to be seen. I mean, I give the warning because I got warned. My friend that saw this and was recommending this to me, he's like, "You've got to see it, Steve." And he's like, "But," and even the director has been talking about certain scenes, in interviews before the film's release. So even she knows it's pushing it a bit. But I do recommend you see it. I think John, you're probably right. Watch it on your own first, and then see whether you're going to want to watch it with the other half.
Yeah,
because it does go into places that you would be uncomfortable potentially. So anyway, I won't say any more about it. But I was entertained in as much as I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. And again, the person I saw it with did not fall asleep, so that's good news as well. That's a mark of quality right there.
Yeah.
So What is interesting though is over here it has been a bit of an awards kind of contender, and yet the Oscars look like they've overlooked it. I didn't see any Oscar love for this at all in the nominations today, so they've kind of overlooked it. But I'll bet you it'll be a big deal come the BAFTAs. So it'll be interesting to see. And I think he won Golden Globes as well, didn't he, Barry Keoghan?
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, rightly so. I mean, the performance is incredible. So yeah, I recommend it. With some reservations, not dinner reservations. So, yeah, hear me now, believe me after you've seen it, guys.
Hear me now, listen to
Hear me
later.
now, listen to me later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hear me now.
Oh.
So there we go.
Nice. All right, we got a couple from in the chat from going back to Beekeeper. Got, I've no intention of spending money to see this. That's Paul Hurt. And Chris, not to be outdone. People weren't swarming to the theaters.
Nice.
So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
People work really hard on their puns, and we have to, I gotta at least get those in there. Kevin's got a question here in the chat. Kevin says, how does Dolby Atmos work when their intention is to reduce the viewable area and sound? Am I asking the wrong question? Possibly. I'm not sure what you mean by that exactly.
Because the video is
it in Atmos,
compressed.
Steve? Did you say it was in Atmos?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so.
Well, the image you had up there said Dolby Atmos.
Oh, did it? Okay. Well, I didn't see it in Atmos, so I have to admit I watched it again in oh yeah.
Does that say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine you need to see it in Atmos. I mean, if it is in Atmos, there's very little, if anything, in there that's going to make that a necessity. But just because they may have a restricted viewing area by the 133 does not mean that the video has been truncated. I mean, it was designed to be seen that way. And so the audio is not dependent on the video. I mean, look at The Lighthouse. I mean, that one again is in 133. Yeah, exactly that. And those are thunderous audio tracks, I mean, especially Lighthouse, which makes the room move. I mean, that island is alive in that. In fact, we talked with Carl Ellsworth about that, didn't we?
Yep.
And so so one does not necessarily mean the other. Does it? Because I mean, I've seen 240 movies where the sound is not great. It's not so. One does not necessitate the other, or doesn't impact on the other for me.
In actuality, if you think about it that way, though, like you said, like if you go to a 240 perspective, it's almost like you're shrinking the height of the screen. So what do you need overheads for, right? But if you go to a 133, you have a taller screen, and that's where your heights would, because that's why Zack Snyder went to the Snyder Cut. He's like, superheroes are meant to be larger than life and tall, so like you're looking up, and the idea of an IMAX is to be a taller screen. That's a 133 is meant to be taller. I think a lot of people now, we look at 133 as being like, oh well, that's it's a smaller screen because you're taking either your 16:9, or if you have a CinemaScope screen and you shrink it, now you're really making it small. But these, like when you go narrow, you're supposed to be going up, right? It's supposed to be a bigger screen. That's what like an IMAX did, and that's what they do in, like, when you watch Oppenheimer in an IMAX theater, you get the CinemaScope, so it goes all the way across. But then when they go big, it's like, whoa, look at everything's way up there. So that's where you get your viewable area, and then your Atmos sound or whatever sound you have is your envelopment around you. It's not really dictated by the size of the screen or anything like that. And I mean, going back to when John and I started out, we would go in for the biggest audio sound we could get, and we're watching on a 32-inch television.
Yeah.
We're like, listen to that sound. We're like, and you're squinting to see the TV across the room. So, I don't think you asked the wrong question. It's just it was just like, how do we? I don't think the intention of the viewable area has anything to do with the envelopment of the sound around you. But
just bring up Dominic one in a minute, because Dominic says, Steve, since you like horror movies, did you grab the second sight 4K disc of the French movie High Tension? Love it. Here's one out there. Yep. This would be this one then.
Yep. Yeah,
which arrived today.
Twitter today, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I've only seen it once a long time ago, so I'm very much looking forward to that, Dominic. So stay tuned to a future podcast for a review of that.
Yes. Yep. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm kind of excited for this one. This was, I think maybe Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom dropped this morning. What a surprise. On Kaleidoscape, 4K, HDR, Dolby Atmos, the whole 9 yards. And it has it all. I was so excited to see this morning, and it's like, a month since it came out. I mean, it dropped in theaters a month ago, and I had fun at the theater with it. And it's on, like I said, it's on Kaleidoscape now. It's at $39.99, and I was like, yeah, it's out. It's high because it's still in theaters, so that's that premium view. But you own it, and I get it right away, and I was so happy to do it. It's so much fun, and I haven't watched the entire thing yet. I haven't had all day to watch it, but I've watched probably 75% of it, and it's in 178 aspect ratio. So it's your giant. I was so excited to see that. The original Aquaman is in its variable aspect ratio, even on Kaleidoscape. And I didn't like that. I was like, when I first got my Kaleidoscape, I thought they didn't do that when I first got it. And I was excited just to be, because I in that movie, I didn't like it going back and forth. And so when this one started out, right from jump, the credits at the opening of this, underwater, everything, it's so nice. The bass is really good. The picture is really good. The opening sequence when he's battling and he's got he's got his Aquaman costume on now. Spoilers, it is part 2, so he's got his full costume. But he comes into a dark room, but the glow of his costume looks awesome. It's just, I was just like, oh, and it is like larger than life on the screen, everything about, and it's Jason Momoa. You meet him in person, he's larger than life. The guy's enormous. But some of the scene, like, who plays his brother? What's his name?
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. Him in this. And I remember seeing in the theater, and it's like they had that one shot of him. It's clearly CGI'd of him being huge, but then the rest of it's clearly the suit. The muscles are in the suit and everything. But there's a running joke in the movie. Get it? Ba-dum-ching. You'll get it if you don't get it when you see it. It's so funny, but I had so much fun with this movie, and it is if you had fun with it, if you had fun with the first one and you haven't seen this one and you like home theater, I think it's definitely worth the buy when this drops on 4K, because it was really, really good HDR. It's too early in the year to say it's, home theater experience of the year. It definitely isn't going to be. But it is.
But it is so far.
Much fun. It's so far. Yeah, I know.
23 days in.
Yeah, exactly. But it is really, really good. Home theater wise, it is really good. And John, you like this in the theater.
It's fun. Yeah, I liked it. I'm gonna buy it. I mean, I'm gonna buy it, number one, because I'm a completionist and I have all the others.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna buy it. I would buy it anyways because I did enjoy it. It's again, it's goofy, but it was fun. And
it's clearly a movie.
From a movie like this, that's all I want.
Right.
I'm not looking for Oppenheimer when I watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I just want it to be fun. I want some good fight scenes. I want some good, CGI or,
the
all
CGI
that. All I want,
so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Some of the scenes I was watching, like there's a particular jungle scene where he's running and there's a lot going on. It's all CGI'd. It's indistinguishable. It is not like the old, like green screen or anything. I mean, it's vibrant. It's beautiful. I mean, the deep blacks, the shadows, this, that, the color, the lights, the sky, everything. And he's running and I'm like, it just looks so good. But I mean, the entire screen might be fake. So, I mean, it's easy to blend when the whole thing's fake, but it looked so good. It looks so good. And like I said, the audio, nice deep bass, the remote lit up a couple of times. It's a lot of fun. Have you seen this yet, Steve? Or no?
No, I was going to go to the theater and see it, but the person that I thought might want to see it was like, no.
Really?
So I
Good
just
for
let it
them.
kind of go. Well, because all the buzz was bad, and everything coming out about it
let
was
that
it's bad,
ruin
it's
it.
bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but when you're trying to coax someone to the theater that doesn't
Yeah,
normally
yeah.
go,
Right.
then if they read this, then they're like, well, why would I drag myself out to see it?
Yeah.
So it's fine. I'll buy the 4K disc when it comes out. I'll watch that. I mean, I've got the first one. I famously really didn't like the first one the first time I saw it in theaters. I hated it the first time I saw it in cinemas. But then when I rewatched the 4K disc, it was okay. So I'll buy this again. Completionist.
upgraded it
to give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty good from hated it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's high praise.
Yeah, man.
So
That's
we're
moving on up.
Fingers crossed for Midway.
Yeah, well, I do need to see that again. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
Although, we've got Masters of the Air coming on Friday, and that's one
Yes.
I cannot wait
I know.
for that.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that. The other thing that John, you can comment on this too, because I think you share my opinion on this. The fact that we got an Aquaman movie at all, he was like the joke of comics, period. Like nobody, I mean, growing up, it was like the poor guy had to jump in the plane with Wonder Woman on Super Friends. Like he had no ability to do anything unless you're in the ocean, and we did nothing in the ocean. So like, why do we have a superhero in the ocean? Nothing.
Yeah, he's the butt of every joke.
Oh,
But
yeah.
and the funny thing is, did y'all watch Entourage on HBO
No.
back when it was out? Like, I don't know, 20 years ago or so. I mean, the big joke there was that the main character was an actor, and they were filming an Aquaman movie. Like, and everybody was joking about that they would never make a live action big budget Aquaman movie. And here we are. So the fact that a lot of these things, right? Like whoever thought we'd get Guardians of the Galaxy or Aquaman or whatever. But I mean Aquaman more than any of them, because I mean nobody was actively making fun of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean Aquaman's been a joke since as long as I've been alive anyway.
Yeah.
So
great. You could talk to fishes. What does that do for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think there was a lot of crime underwater?
New York City. Call a goldfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me is like, it is a lot. And Jason Momoa is just the right character, the right person in real life to bring the life to this, because he's so enthusiastic about it. How do you not like the guy? And like in the same way, like in the first movie and his press tour on it, you're like, how do you not like that guy? He's just so much fun. So, and that's like the fun with this movie is clearly they knew when they started this making any production or whatever with this movie, like this is the last of the DCEU. All right. So we can't fail.
Well, I don't know if they knew that when they started making it, but they definitely knew by the time they were done making it.
Oh my God. It's yeah. So they just had so much fun with it, and they like pointed fingers at themselves. They pointed fingers at it's just a lot of fun. So,
let me just address this. Yes, Steve, no hope for The Fifth Element. No. There will be no rewatching of that.
Yes, but no.
Just so we got that clear. Yeah, but no, but.
Yeah, that's funny. So, all right. Moving on quickly. John, can't wait to see what you think about this, buddy. Here we go.
Oh. Yeah, so I'm the last person in the world to see the Barbie movie. But I finally sat down and watched it because I picked up the disc on sale last week. And so this was the 4K disc, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, all the good stuff. I had obviously heard a lot about this movie, so I had some high expectations for it. And I was not disappointed. I actually really liked it. Even though I knew a lot of people were talking about how good it was, I didn't really know much about it. And so I didn't feel like I was had it spoiled. Nothing was spoiled for me, I guess is what I'm trying to say through watching it, because it wasn't exactly what I expected. But yeah, I thought it was a great time. I really liked it. It was super fun. Disc wise, I thought the visuals on this were stunning. Like I thought this
Yeah.
is a great disc. Obviously it's Warner's, so they put out good stuff. But I mean, razor sharp, super colorful, especially when you're in Barbie world there. I mean, everything looks awesome. And like how fun was like, it was so much fun kind of seeing, obviously I didn't play with Barbie, but my sister had a lot of this stuff around the house.
Yeah.
And I remember just seeing all of these.
I feel like that's what every guy says. They have to open with a disclaimer. I didn't do this. I just witnessed it.
I mean,
like,
I
didn't.
I'd
like to confer with my lawyer.
Yeah.
Steve,
just say no comment.
Yeah,
just say no comment.
comment.
No comment.
But yeah, just kind of seeing all this stuff and kind of like the failed and the discontinued models and things like that got brought up a few times throughout the movie were a lot of fun. Audio wise, like I thought it was serviceable. I didn't think it was anything super special because again, this movie wasn't trying to do anything Atmos wise, really. I mean, there's definitely some Atmos there. There's some, crowd effects and things where you can hear your speakers coming. But this is not an action movie in any sense. So the audio was fine, but this really shines is the video. Like this thing looks gorgeous. And I thought both of them were fantastic. I can't think of any two better people to play Barbie and Ken than the two that they have. I mean, they're perfect for the role.
The two main Barbie and Ken.
Well, true, because there's a lot of Barbies and there's a lot of Kens, but Margot Robbie and oh my God, Ryan Gosling. I think of his name for a second. Are perfect, in those roles.
Yeah. It's they'll be talking about the Oscar nominations again. I mean, it's a bit crap because poor old Margot Robbie has not been nominated. And yet America Ferrera has been. I think Ryan Gosling has been as well. The song I'm Just Ken has been nominated. The film has been nominated for best film. It's just like, oh man.
Well, and the thing is, they kind of, the big uproar is that it's nominated for adapted screenplay and not original screenplay, which is a big, causing a big commotion.
Weird.
And it is weird because yes, it is based on an existing property, but this is not an adapted screenplay in any way. This is an original movie. And so I think they're kind of getting the short end of the stick there. It almost feels like they put it in a category where they think it will win and not in the category they think it won't. I don't know. But
true.
Because I kind of felt, not to go way off topic, but looking at all the awards that the Bear won a week or two ago, they were all in the comedy category, and the Bear is anything but a comedy. So it almost feels like they threw it in that category so it would sweep all the awards there because they didn't think it would win in the main categories. I don't know. This is my conspiracy theory mind going, but in no world is the Bear a comedy. And so just like this is not in any world an adapted screenplay. But
I think correct me. I mean, John Thompson can correct me on this one. You submit yourself to the category you want. They don't put you into a category. So
I don't know.
That's what
you do. Yeah, you submit it. Yeah, that's why you get the for your consideration ads. So yes, you do, and you pay through the nose to do it as well.
So maybe so maybe they're submitting themselves to the category where they feel they have the best
shot to win.
Shot to win. But that's the studio doing that. That's not like the director. So Greta Gerwig is getting shorted a bit because it's not in the original screenplay, category.
Right. But you win.
That's just Warner's, trying to get what they can get out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, if you win, you win. So it's.
Anyways, not that any of that matters. It's a great disc. Go pick it up.
Yeah. Home theater wise. Yes, absolutely. It's like, and like you said, John, it's like, it's not so, the sound is good because the music is really good. Your room will be alive and it's a lot of fun. but it's the imagery on the screen and the vibrancy, and like you said, even going between the two worlds, even the real world version looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need Will Ferrell in 4K HDR, but
I don't need Will Ferrell in anything. But despite Will Ferrell, I still enjoyed this movie.
Ouch.
So he's
Wouldn't say
not.
that.
I'm
Where did
not a
that come
fan.
from?
I am not a fan
Not a
of
huge
Will
fan.
Ferrell.
No.
Oh man.
I could take him in small bites. I'm not as big a fan in like
no one, don't
entire
cannibalize
movies.
him, Deej.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man, Anchorman. I mean, he could retire on Anchorman for all I'm happy with that. That film is perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's a great film. Did you find yourself, John, as I did, distracted in when the house is Ken's house, looking at the screens? I found myself just looking at those and just thinking, how big are those? Is that projector? Is that OLED?
Yeah.
Just how big is that? Because that looks huge. I got really distracted with that first time round.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I'll be looking next time.
There's definitely a lot to take in when you multiple viewings, because there's a lot going on in the background. There's a lot of props in there that mean stuff. Like there's like I think I talked to you about the dollhouse and stuff, Steve, and it's like I mean that's legit stuff. It's outside the Barbie universe, but it's still toys that were around, and like there's some dollhouse toys in there that I was like, my sister had that teacup set. And that's and when I say a teacup set, it's not like the teacup set like the kids would play with and pretend. It was like this tiny teacup set that went into a dining room in a dollhouse. It was on a tiny little table, and that's it. Stuff like that is in the movie. It's just the detail in this is like from the props department is amazing. For all I know, it's not even the props department. It could be CGI'd in there. Like all of that stuff, just art, you find it and be like, yeah, that's the teacup set. We'll throw that right in. But yeah, the 4K on this, the imagery is just amazing. So
yeah.
All right. What do we got next here? What do we, Steve, this one's for you. This is a big one here. Let me see. Do we get it? There we go.
Oh,
all right. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah. Okay, so this is Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, the 1981 stone cold classic. That is
never heard
Dark
of it.
Knight of the Scarecrow.
Is this Cillian Murphy?
Said.
Or
yeah, that's what Deej said. Deej said he'd never heard of it either.
Never heard of it.
Hang your heads in shame, gentlemen. Hang your heads in shame.
Classic. We're like, never heard of it.
That only one of three of us have heard of.
What was just now? Come on, guys! You're not that much older than me. What were you doing with your youths that you did not see this in 81 or thereabouts when it came out?
I was 11 in 81. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it rated?
I was like 8. I mean, okay. So let me first get my thank you out of the way, because earlier today, which is when I saw this, on Twitter, at JJ Huntsecker, who's one of my followers, who was a BBC or is a BBC producer, happened to put on Twitter that Prime had this available to see in HD. And this is a film it was a TV movie. So this is the second film this week that is in 133 or 43, because in 1981, they weren't filming anything for TV in widescreen, because why? So it's in 133, and it's a story about a mentally challenged adult called Bubba, who is framed, as it were, for a crime he didn't commit, and a group of local idiots do him some harm. And after that, these local idiots begin being bumped off one by one. And it may or may not be the spirit of Bubba in the Scarecrow, which is what they do him some harm while he is hiding in, that is coming back to off them one at a time. And now I've seen this film so many times, and I know I saw it very young and way too young, because as I said on Twitter earlier today, this film scared the living crap out of me when I was a kid. It really did unsettle me, this film. And so I don't think it would have been in 81, because like I said, I would have been young. And I would have been 8 or 9, right, in 81. So I wouldn't have seen it then, and I would have only seen it, sometime later. So what I don't know is whether I saw it in New Zealand or here. So I don't know whether I was 9 or 10 or a bit older. I may have been a bit older, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, did this scare the crap out of me. And it's still unsettling and creepy to this day. There are some shots in this that are freaky as anything with Bubba kind of, and you recognize him because I think he was in LA Law. I can't think of the name of the actor, but there's a creepy shot of him in the Scarecrow, and you can see his eyes through this mask. I mean, you can see the mask there, and you can see his eyes through it, and he's petrified. He's really scared, and it is freaky as anything. And to this day, as I say, when I see it, I get a sort of chill up my spine. And I love this movie. It's cheesy as you like. You guys, if you do watch it, say it's on Prime here. Hopefully, it is in the States. It's like 90 minutes. And that's including credits. So you're probably looking at about 85 minutes or thereabouts. Right. And it is well worth seeing. And I had a great time watching it again today, albeit still mildly creeped out all these years later. So I love this movie. Again, it like My Bloody Valentine, these kinds of very, very schlocky movies of that time, but they are great. And this one definitely has some unsettling bits. So if you haven't seen it, give it a go. You might want some special cookies first, John. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, because it is of its time. But I love it. I really do. And so that's the film. Image quality, it's decent. And they've bearing in mind this was a shoestring budget. Made for TV movie in 1981, and yet it still looks decent.
Here in the States, though. It was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's got
country of origin is United States. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
release date October 21st, 1981.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it is absolutely a shoestring budget. But Amazon have done a decent job of having it cleaned up and presenting it. Audio is minimal, but you can hear it. It's absolutely fine. And so, do you need to see it on a theater? No. Should you? Yeah, of course you should. Tell them Steve sent you. And just give it a go and see what you think. I mean, Deej, it's probably one for an October, late at night in October with Jen, and just kind of when you're feeling in a silly mood, and just go with it. Yeah. And I think you'll enjoy it. I think you will. I mean, it's only me that needs to see it this time of year.
Right. Yeah. It says it was originally conceived as a theatrical film. It went directly to television instead, premiering on CBS just before Halloween in 81. So yeah, I don't for John and I don't think so that came out on TV at 11 years old. I don't think our parents are like, yeah, sure, stay up and watch that. And then I don't know how much popularity it had over here after that, where would we have heard about it, right? It would have been the video store. Yeah. But I don't remember anybody even talking about it.
Right. But it traveled. I mean, I would have been in 81, I was in New Zealand. We came back to the UK in 84 and I don't think I saw it in the UK because I would have been older. And this one kind of, I might have been 10 or 11. I can't believe that I would have been that age and seeing this one. No wonder it haunts my dreams to this day because it is creepy. I don't know, but it is one of my formative movie experiences, and I love the movie. So, I'll be curious to see what you guys make of it. But you might well go, what a load of crap. And if you do, I can't criticize you because it probably is if you're not watching it through my eyes. Right. I do recommend it.
You'll have to remind me in October.
Oh yeah, but you'll have your dance card filled up in October, Deej. Yeah. So you're gonna be. It's only 90 minutes, I suppose.
I always got 90 minutes here or there.
Yeah.
Oh well, there we go. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, Keith says, and understand. He said it couldn't be that scary if it was made for TV. I get that. I mean, it's creepy in terms of. Yeah, well, it's the mask. It's the and that shot through the mask of his eyes, and he's looking petrified. It's in broad daylight as well. This is not at night, and it just looks so creepy. That I think is kind of what does it for me. But give it a go, see what you think. And Keith, if it's crap, then don't blame me.
All right.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
Can I say, Deej? Right, this is another one of the cool things about this show. You invite me on, and I just get to get very excited about movies I've loved my whole life.
Right.
So thanks once again, guys.
You're welcome. No, that's
Awesome.
what's great. It's like you're bringing stuff like John and I had never heard of that.
I've never heard of it.
And-
Yeah, I wouldn't know
And you're
anything about
excited
it.
about it. So you can't
Yeah.
get
Oh,
much
man.
more diverse than that. 2 of the 3 have never heard of it. The other one's like, oh my God, where are the Oscars?
Right.
Jeez. All right. This next one here, John and I both watched. So we're talking Blue Beetle on. Now you have the disc, right, John?
I have the disc. Yes.
Okay, so you have the disc, 4K HDR, Dolby Atmos. I have the Kaleidoscape, 4K HDR, Dolby Atmos. And you saw this in the theater, John, so I'll let you go
I
first.
did.
My only viewing of it was at home, and I've viewed it
Oh, okay.
1.5 times now. I started watching it when it came out. This came out back in October on Kaleidoscape, and I snuck in a good portion of it during our Halloween month.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't really talk about it. And then I saw you had it, and so I watched it again. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I had seen this in the theaters, and this is another one of those movies, kind of like The Beekeeper, where I said, you know, I enjoyed this in the theaters, but this is going to be great at home. And it was.
Yeah.
This
And you were
this-
right.
Yeah, and I was right. This disc is great. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of what you think about the movie, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it just as much the second time. I think it's a lot of fun. I know it's another movie that way underperformed for DC and had a lot of people kind of panning it. But most people I talked to that actually saw it
Yeah.
enjoyed it, you know. And yeah, I think the movie is what it is. I think it's a lot of fun. This is a character that is supposed to go forward in James Gunn's DCU.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be a Blue Beetle 2, but we are definitely supposed to see this character and I'm going to butcher the name. I think it's Zolo Mariduena, I think is the actor. We're going to see him again as this character. There's a couple of bits of the movie that are so corny that even I can't justify them. But overall, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, as far as the disc goes, this is just a solid disc. It's a solid action movie. Again, visually, it's gorgeous. Like the suit looks great. It's colorful. It's again, the 4K is razor sharp. I think it looks awesome. And this one has great sound. I mean, there's music that fires up. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a scene with some cool 80s music that just rocks, and it sounds awesome. It has all the effects where you want them to be. As far as the Atmos goes, when there's explosions, when there's fights, there's all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it's just a solid disc and a lot of fun. I think you should pick it up. I think everybody should see this. It's cheap now. You can get it. I think I paid $11 for it. So there's no reason not to get it, in my opinion. So
yeah, I think same thing. When I started watching this, it was a little slow going for me at the beginning, but then it really picks up about the 45-50 minute mark. The movie really picks up home theater wise. The story picks up. The whole family environment that they go after here, I thought really pulls at the heartstrings really, really well, which helps you get more invested into the movie, the characters. But yeah, the home theater wise, even just going by the movie poster and stuff and the bright colors, and it really looked nice. I liked, obviously I watched both of these this week, but I thought Aquaman, the newest Aquaman, Fallen Kingdom, is that what the name was? That one there, I would say, is a better home theater experience than this.
Yeah.
But this one is really, really good. I felt like Aquaman, it just, for some reason, it was bigger and
Well,
grander.
three times the budget too, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
You know, this wasn't a $300 million movie,
Right.
so
But the CGI on this was really good.
it was.
And same thing, it blended really well in the dark, the dark scenes at night, and you have him. I remember some people like panning this and like, oh, he didn't want to be doesn't want to be a superhero and blah blah blah, and it's like some people were saying they thought that was fresh, and I'm like, most superheroes don't want to be the super. That's the main story. They don't want to do it. People were all over the place with this. I think. I don't know. Do you think, John, that it's possible people are starting to think like if it's a comic book movie, it has to do crazy numbers, where there is a level of superhero fatigue, whether it's the MCU or just these in general.
There is, and DC movies tend to not be as acclaimed and do as well as the MCU movies. But yeah, I mean, every movie is expected to turn a profit and make its money back. So I mean, I think that's the bar. Was Blue Beetle was never going to be $1 billion movie.
No,
but I don't think it had to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think it did what it needed to do either. I don't think it made its money back, and so it's. Yeah. I don't think it was deemed successful, but yeah, again, not every movie has to be Endgame and do $3 billion or whatever that thing ended up doing. And most of them won't. It's the rare, rare movie that hits that threshold. But I think blockbusters in general lately have not been. Well, we talked about this before with Mission Impossible and some of the in Indiana Jones. There's fatigue in general, I think, in going to the theaters to see movies. And I don't know why or what the solution to that is, but studios are not going to be able to continue to put out $300 million movies that lose money. And so we either need people to go support these movies, or we're not going to get them anymore.
Right.
If these things are made for streaming, if these things go made for streaming, they're not going to have those kind of budget. Now, this was a movie, interestingly, that was made for HBO Max. Like, this movie was intended to be an HBO Max original. And then James Gunn, when he took over, decided to put it in the theaters. So I think if this thing, so the budget for this wasn't ever really what a theatrical release was going to be. But
I think successful, like for us, what we determine as successful is this is a successful home theater movie. I mean, it had, like you said,
for me it is.
It all.
Yeah.
You've got great sound, you've got a great picture, very dynamic sound, very dynamic picture, that as a home theater fan, if you just want to sit back and watch a fun movie in your home theater and watch things go boom and see bright color, a great image on your screen to show off your display, this has it. And that to me is like when you and I were talking, John, back in 2018, that's why we wanted to start talking about this stuff. Because people are taking these comic book movies and they're trying to look at them like you look at like an Oppenheimer or a Casablanca or something. And you're like, no, these are just meant to be fun, and let's just sit down and watch things go boom and have a good time. That's what comic books are. And there's an underlying story here that's I really, really like. It resonated really well with me, the whole family ideal and everything. But that's what and I think that could be what's hurting the theater going experience, because it's getting so good at home, even for people not listening to the show and just, you've got your 75-inch television and a good sound bar, and you're like, what do I got to go to the theater for? They don't care anymore. They're like, I can get it to them. They're getting it at home anyways. Not like
and that's the thing. And I could be wrong, and feel free to correct me if I am. But since COVID, I mean, outside of Barbie and Oppenheimer, there just hasn't been a movie that's performed in the theaters.
Well, Maverick. We have Maverick.
Okay,
Was
Maverick. But
a juggernaut.
For the most part, people have accepted watching movies at home and become accustomed to that, and are just happy to do that and happy to wait and watch them at home. And the majority of them aren't going to buy physical media. They're just going to wait and they're just going to stream it.
Right.
So I don't know, like I said, I don't know how to get people to go support these movies in the theater. And it's not our job to figure that out either.
Nope.
But my worry is that we're just not going to continue to get these movies because nobody can just continue to put things out that lose money. I don't care who you are. Disney took such a beating last year on their movies. Warner Brothers took a beat. Oh, I mean, I guess Warner Brothers was fine because they had Disney. I mean, they had Barbie, but these studios can't just continue to fail at the theaters. And if people aren't going to go see these things, we're not going to get them. And so,
or we get them at less. I mean, you just get them less frequently. It's like, I think we've peaked. I read something today, I think it was on Cord Cutters, about how like what they're actually producing now that is less. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, because they were just, especially with COVID for stream, they were pumping out content left and right. And now they're getting more selective in what they're pumping out or what they're allowing to be produced, because it's like, it's not a bottomless pit of money. So they need to be more selective. And back, like, there was never a time where we had 10 or 12 giant blockbusters a year. It's like, that was very rare. And it's like, I mean, going back and looking at Endgame, right? Everybody knew Endgame was going to be a juggernaut. So much so that Wonder Woman was delayed.
Right.
So that we didn't, so that it didn't have to run into it. And then it ended up getting delayed even further all the way. That was Wonder Woman 84, right? I think got delayed because of that. And then COVID hit. So it's like, people knew like these juggernauts existed, and then they didn't want to go up against them so that they could draw some eyeballs. But then you have something like a Barbie and Oppenheimer where I think they purposely went against each other because of that dynamic of, you'd think that it was like certain people would see this one, certain people would see this one. And that was the point of both those movies. And now you have that whole weekend turned out to be like a statement of the culture, really.
Right.
So I don't think it'll ever just go away. I just think it's the day of like 15 great movies playing at the multiplex is pretty much gone, but us for a home theater, I mean, they are still producing great content for our home theaters through streaming. We talk about it all the time. And when these things come out and we get them at home, we're like, this is fantastic. So I think we're good. I just think you're right. If you're a theater owner, I'd be a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
So, Steve?
Yeah. Well, in terms of the movie, I have seen it. I've now seen it. I've got the 4K disc. And yet when I actually came to watch it, there were a couple of other people with me that didn't really want to see it in the theater room. So I ended up watching the stream in the front room, and I still haven't seen the 4K disc, even though I had it.
Right.
There was no persuading them on this particular occasion. So I enjoyed it. I mean, there's lots of Spanish in it, which is very cool. And I like the fact that they don't always subtitle it either, which is quite fun too. So there are whole exchanges between several characters where there are no subtitles. And so I was translating for the two people that were watching it with me, just so they knew what was going on. So that was quite fun, but it's always nice to
infer.
Exactly.
Like I did.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I was just, I was able to translate for them. No, it's good. It is fun. It's a throwback. I think it is a throwback to kind of some of the 90s movies, not 90s effects, but 90s kind of origin movies and kind of how they were done. But it is fun. It is fun for what it is. So that's good. Yeah. And I will watch it in the cinema room eventually.
And like I said, when you get to the disc, I think you'll enjoy the experience of it.
Right. Yeah, and I can see why, because it did look great, even on the stream. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's see, what do we got next here? Oh, this one here. I was interested to talk to you, John, about this one.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. This was yours. I didn't have this on my list.
I know, but I thought I saw somewhere that
But
you
I've
had
seen it. I have seen it. I just didn't talk about it last week because I had enough stuff.
All
so I
right.
didn't
So
add
we're
it. I
talking
just
about,
didn't add it to the list.
yeah, we're talking for the audio only people. We're talking about Lift, Netflix film, 4K, Atmos. I had it in Atmos. Did you have it in Atmos? It's not
Yes.
saying Atmos on the screen.
Yeah, but I did. Yeah.
I had Ara had texted me on Saturday and told me that he saw this and he said it was a lot of fun. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And then I watched it and somehow I saw that you had seen it. But
It's on my letterbox. It's on my letterbox.
Oh, that's where I saw it. Okay. But because I couldn't find it in our show notes and I was like, oh, what the heck? Home theater wise, definitely another great movie.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Absolutely. There were scenes in this that I wanted to take a picture and I'd love to put together a like this is how you do it type thing, because the way they lit the characters and the lighting, the way they shot it and the lighting and everything really lends to like a great HDR experience through streaming, because there's no, and we've talked about it many times before, but it's not like not the Dark Knight, the Batman, where it's like, that's very, very subtle gradations. This is everything shot very extreme lighting on one side. And it could be daytime outside at wherever they are, but the way it's shot just lends it to being a very successful HDR experience. And throughout this movie, I thought the audio it's Dolby Atmos compressed, of course, but it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a fun movie. I thought it was super predictable, like all of these things are. It's like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on as it's happening, because we've all seen movies like this in the past. And so you start drawing from it. And John and I were joking before, and I won't say the part we were joking about, but like the biggest sleight of hand now is like it's like
it's when they don't have a twist.
Right. And it's like, and we were talking about it, we're like, because sometimes that happens and you're like, oh, okay. But this one here, it's
the
like,
guy you thought was the killer is actually the killer.
Right.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
It was that Hugh Grant show. I don't remember.
Yeah. Let's not give it away for anybody that hasn't seen the Hugh Grant show.
From
but that was
ago.
just it. Like John and I went through that, and I was like, and you're trying to fit, because you read into all of those things, and more shows are coming out like that, or movies, I should say. But this one here is just straight away fun, good time. Sleight of hand supposedly going on here and there, but home theater wise, definitely, it's a lot of fun in your room. And it's Kevin Hart's so much fun. I just love his character. He reminds me of a buddy of mine that every time he talks, I'm like, he sounds just like him. His attitude and everything is just like my buddy. So
I felt like, no pun intended, because they show in a helicopter, but I felt like it flew by. Like, I felt like this movie just went. Like, it's an hour and 46 minutes, so it's not super long, but it's not
right.
It's not 85 minutes either.
Yeah.
But it just like flew by. Like, it was so fun that it was over before I knew it. Like, I was like, oh, okay. I just felt like it was just fun from start to finish, and like ended. Okay. So
Jen and I watched this on Sunday morning. We were like, oh, hey, I go, do you want to go down and watch Lift with me? Ara said it was really good, and we had nothing to do before we went out to dinner, and I was like, all right. We went down, and like you said, she was like, oh, that was okay. She wasn't blown away by it. I liked the home theater part. There was some good overhead stuff going on, of course. You're in, planes and stuff going, but yeah, a lot of Vincent D'Onofrio, pretty funny.
Yeah, he was
in
good.
This. He's pretty good in this. It's funny because Jen saw him. She goes, "Oh, I haven't seen him in a long time." I was like, "Oh, he was just in Echo," but she didn't.
Yeah, and I'd finished Echo and then popped this on, and I was like, "Well, there's a contrast in character."
Yeah, but he was still big.
He was big.
She goes, "He's a big man." I go, "Well, yeah, he's kind of in the middle playing, Kingpin. So still was carrying some of that size. So
yeah.
Have you seen any of that? Have you seen anything about this, Steve?
No, I'd heard something about it, but I haven't seen it. I must admit, it looks interesting. We're going to talk about. I mean, it's directed by F. Gary Gray. We're going to be talking about another one of his films in a minute.
Yep.
So yeah, it's one that I might catch at some point. Looks good. I mean, I wonder whether this might have been an unofficial sequel to the earlier film that we're going to talk about in a minute, because it does have some
could be.
similarities.
Yeah, but I will. All right, let's.
I'll say I don't know what we're
There's been some
talking
talk-
about. So
Well, there's been some talk about a sequel to it. You see, and F. Gary Gray, as much as recently as 2019, was talking about it. So that kind of has some similarities.
All right. So nice segue right there, Steve. So, Steve and I both watched this. Go ahead, Steve.
Yes, so this is the remake of the Italian Job, the 2003 version with Jason Statham again. So there's all kinds of echoes this week. Again, all kinds of stuff going around. So yeah, so this is the remake. Now, let me begin by making it perfectly clear to all of our English listeners, viewers, and everyone else: this is not in any way, shape, or form a patch on the original. Okay, this cannot lick the boots of the original, just so we're clear. Okay, because guys, you may not know,
it's the only one I've ever seen, but
yeah,
I know the
Italian
original
Job
is revered in the UK.
It is a cultural touchstone in the UK, the Italian Job, and it may not be criticized in any way, shape, or form. So that having got out of the way, I mean, the Secret Service will come through the window and shoot me if I say anything bad about the 1969 original, which I have on 4K as well, and I watched last year and really, really enjoyed it. So this is the remake of that. Very loose remake. It has minis in it. There is some mention of Italy, and Mark Wahlberg has the same name as the lead character in the other one. And there is also about 2 seconds of footage from the original film shown on a TV screen as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Everything else is completely different. The setup, the way it operates, the way it's done is all different. And this is only the second time I've seen it. The first time I saw it, I think, was just after its release in cinemas. I don't think I actually saw it in the cinema. I think I saw it on DVD then. I mean, back in 2003. But having seen that, I remember thinking it's okay. You know, it was all right. And I mean, it was panned over here, of course, because again, in contrast to the original, no one was going to like it over here. But so this is the second time seeing it, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite fun. It's inoffensive. It knows what it is. Excuse me, and it's good fun. And zips by. It's a short film as well. It's only just over 90 minutes or so. It's not very long. So it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's got some fun, practical car chases and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, I did enjoy it, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Again, not a patch on the original, but it is good. And so in terms of the home theater experience, so this was in 4K UHD disc. It's only come out here a couple of weeks ago. I think it's been out on disc in the US for quite a bit longer. But yeah, so we got it. It's in DTS HD 5.1. And I had read a review that said it's not that great. I had read a review that says the image quality is a bit hit and miss, and the audio's not great either. So I went in with quite low expectations. And those expectations were met and very much exceeded, because I think this is quite decent. And certainly not enough to kind of criticize the disc. I mean, okay, there are some soft shots. Yep, sure. But there is some really detailed stuff as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And some of the close-ups look really, really nice. There is, you can see skin pores. You can see, again, makeup on the actors. You can see detail in some of the shots on clothing. And so video-wise, it looks nice. It's some nice natural colors and all that sort of stuff. So I thought it looked good, and it sounded great as well. It really nicely upmixed. There's bits in at the beginning. I'll give it away, but there's sort of underwater sequences where a boat goes overhead, and you can actually hear the thing go right over the top of the screen, which is fun.
But
yeah, sorry, go on, Deej.
No, I'm like that opening scene. It's like I wanted to say like this is demo worthy. That's how good the sound is. This is put the disc in and let it play for like, it might be 5-10 minutes, because the music at the beginning is so good that you're just, the bass going back, it's like boom, 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 going around over your head, the way it's being upmixed and everything. The bass in the sound in the opening, and it's not I'm not, don't get me wrong, it's not deep like Lucy bass, like boom. It's music bass where boom, 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 boom. The clarity in the music.
Yeah.
It's just put the disc in, the opening credits, everything that's going on, and listen to the music. But then, like Steve said, in that opening sequence where there's some underwater scenes, Steve, did you know? And this blew me away because I've seen this movie so many times. I really enjoy this movie. I've had this in my wish list on my Kaleidoscape. Just one of those things, like, you know, you watch so many things, like, when am I going to get to this on the Kaleidoscape? And when I saw you were watching it, I was out and I bought it and I was like, all right, Steve watched it, I'm watching it, and I got it in time. But that opening scene so there's a score going on during this scene. All right. It's a robbery, whatever. It's spoilers. It's the opening scene of The Italian Job. Guess what's going on? A robbery, right? So there's a score going on, but then there's some characters underwater. The score goes underwater. Did you notice that? It's like the sound of the score goes, like the characters underwater are listening, like the score's playing above water and the characters are listening to that score underwater. It's amazing. And then later on, as the scene plays out, the score comes through the water towards the end of it. But listen to that. That blew me away. And then the rest of the movie, I was just like, this isn't, I've never read that somebody said that this was, it's okay, whatever. No, this is awesome. I was in the 4K HDR. There's like some rooftop nighttime scenes, meetings, and the depth, because the black in the shadows on the characters, but then the dark blue night sky behind them, the difference in color just makes them leap off the screen. I was just like, I'm like, I can't believe I waited this long to watch this thing. This is and then the cars and the race scene, the chases, and there's different chases. There's an early one with, it's not a chase scene, your introduction to Charlize, right? And you're like, which kind of blew my mind the entire movie. Her name's Charlize in real life, but then there's a character called Charlie, and I kept thinking they were referring to her. But her opening scene in a car is, you're just like, that scene was cool. But then later on, and like the minis and it is basically a mini commercial by the end, and not a plug at all. Yeah. But it's, kind of like Twister was the Dodge Ram commercial. This is a mini commercial.
I mean, didn't they kind of have like a shortage of Mini Coopers after this movie came out? Yeah. So many people, you couldn't even get one.
Because I mean, it's a direct homage to the original, where you've got the 3 original Mini Coopers in it. I mean, if you guys haven't seen the original, by the way, and if you're interested in car chases, then that's one where they were all done for real, and with 3 stunt drivers in these cars, and the stuff they did in that's amazing. So if you do, it is worth tracking that down, guys, and seeing that, because it is. I mean, it's a slice of cool Britannia, I think they were calling it. It's in 60s. Austin Powers without Austin Powers, and it's very, very cool. It's the kind of stuff they were basing it on. So I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
But this was good. This was good, and I would pick up this disc because it isn't expensive. It's quite cheap, even now. So I would pick it up, and I'm sure it's even cheaper over there because it's been out longer. So definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I didn't come in with low expectations. Kind of like, I don't think you had low, but they were lowered. I knew I loved it, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I'm like.
So Jordan says in the chat, says, I like the remake to The Italian Job. The original is still far superior, though, and I'm not just saying this because I'm British. It is kind of, you have to have it stamped in your passport. I love The Italian Job. If you don't have that in your passport, then you just get arrested at customs.
All right. Oh, that's good. All right. This next one, oh man, I've been dying to talk to kind of John about this, because it led to, in a weird way, this isn't what I'm going to be talking about. I'll pull up what we're going to be talking about first. So we'll pull this up. I can't wait for John to see it on his screen.
Oh,
Can you see that, buddy?
I do.
Oh my God. So we're talking Clash
It's just
of
Blu.
the
I have the
Titans.
Blu-ray. That's all. It's not on 4K, right?
No,
Okay,
this
because
is
I have the Blu-ray of this.
Yep.
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
not the Sam Worthington one.
No,
No.
Clash of the Titans from 1981.
Harry Hamlin.
Harry Hamlin, Burgess Meredith. But this, I'll get to this. But what
Okay.
led me to this, it was, okay, John, here you go. You ready for this? I don't think you
so.
are.
I don't know what it is, so I think so. Oh, jeez.
So last week this is what I watched first, Conan the Barbarian. And we have a lot to get to this week. So I'm saving this review because it's coming out in 4K. But I will say, and I couldn't wait to talk to you about this, John, but we'll talk about it later in the month when it comes out in 4K.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with it, Conan the Barbarian. It's like we don't have the best history with this movie, you and I. But
no, but I know why that made you watch Clash of the Titans.
Absolutely. So we'll talk more about Conan the Barbarian in a later episode when I get the 4K version. But yes, Clash of the Titans, Harry Hamlin, Burgess Meredith, and all that. I mean, it was so much fun. And this was another one we watched on Sunday. And I said to Jen, I go, you want to go down? Do you like Clash of the Titans? She's like, I love Clash of the Titans. I was like, all right. I'd already watched like a half hour of it. I go, it's a little rough, the grain and everything. And but it is so much fun. And this is in DTS Master Audio Stereo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a homework for everybody. Get this. Get the stereo, upmix it, then put everything to rest that I need Atmos, I need DTSX, because this, in my theater, there were scenes that stuff went overhead. This is DTS Master Audio 2.0, and it was an amazing surround sound experience because it was mixed properly. It has a good stereo mix, and that's all you need, and our systems will upconvert this to a great, there were times like things were going on around us, and Jen and I were like, oh my God, like mechanical birds flapping in the rear of the room.
Owl.
Yep, exactly. Spoilers, Steve.
Oh, sorry.
I'm joking. A movie from 1981.
Yeah.
But there were quiet scenes.
43 years old.
Yeah. It was the 2.0 on this is absolutely amazing because the pans across the front are perfect. Why? Because it's 2.0. They wanted something on the left side. It stayed on the left side, right? It was like, and then the dialogue between the characters, like say when the gods were talking, and a god was on the left of the screen and a god's on the right of the screen, it was like perfectly placed because our systems are upconverting this 2.0 using the entire room, all the speakers in my room. It sounded awesome.
Really?
The picture was good at times, really good at some times, but then there were times when you're like, I mean, it was like looking at a bowl of Rice Krispies. It was so chunky. It was like,
well, I haven't seen this in a while, but the last time I watched it, the scene with Calibos and the whip was a little cringy. It was kind of like
the whip and Pegasus.
Yeah, it was a little Ray Harryhausen with the stop motion Jason of the Argonauts kind of stuff. But yeah, I love this movie.
It's from 81. And the stop motion that they were, because they're doing stuff. I want this. I didn't think I was going to say this, but I do want this to get like a 4K restoration because I think there were some really nice scenes, especially of the gods. There was some nice landscape shots that you're like, ooh, those could really benefit. Some of the really grainy scenes could use some cleaning up. But the stop motion stuff that they did, for 1981, it looked really good. I mean, it's not to today's standards by any stretch of the imagination. Leave your today brain at the door. And like in 81, this was good. Like the opening scene of the bird flying, right? Because you're following a bird through the mountains and everything, and you're supposed to be watching this bird, and it's like a seagull that's going through the mountains. I don't think seagulls go that far into the mountains, but it was disappearing on the screen. Like parts of it, like you could see through it because all they were doing was like, superimposing it, and it just didn't work. So you're laughing off the bat right away. I think this was in 185, if I'm not. I can't remember if it was 185 or 178, but it was so much fun. But that audio, the 2.0 up mixed in your room, that's the stuff I'm talking about. You don't need Atmos because our systems are so good. If we get Atmos, it's great. Don't get me wrong. But this was absolutely, I can't remember what the scene was in particular, that something went like right up and over us. And we were like, oh my God, like it went right over us into the back of the room. And I looked at Jen and I was like, that's 2.0. It was amazing. So, all right. That's homework for everybody. There you go.
Well, I've got it. I guess I just need to watch it.
There you go. Yeah. And up mix. But I know, Steve, you got to get going, so we'll get to your last one.
Yeah, sorry, man.
This is your highlight for the week, so I wanted to make sure we got to this for you. So,
okay, I can do this quite quick.
Okay, let me pull that up for you. Here we go.
Okay, so this is the Chainsaw Man. On 1080p Blu-ray in DTS HD 5.1 master audio. Just bananas. This is something that I bought as a blind buy because somewhere, and I don't know where, I don't know whether it was online or whether it was something in a magazine or whatever, I saw pretty much that picture that you see there. And having seen that picture, I thought this is something for me. And I'm not the greatest of anime fans. I don't normally gravitate towards it. I quite like the remakes of it, but I don't really sort of gravitate towards anime. But this I thought was just too good to pass up. So I bought it, and it's a 12-episode series across 2 discs. I have reached episode 8 now. I've been watching it all week. And it's an absolute riot, and it's everything that a series called Chainsaw Man that you think it would be. It is, and then some. And it's the story of a young teenager called Denshi, who is in this world. There are devils. Okay, and the devils are basically Pokemon, right? This is an adult Pokemon. So the devils are Pokemon, and lots of people have got them. Some people work with them. Others, they're sort of their villains. And Denshi has a chainsaw devil. And for various reasons that I won't go into, Denshi is given the power of being able to turn into Chainsaw Man when he wishes to. And as you can see there, those that are listening to this, I do recommend you looking at the picture of this because it is just bonkers. Yeah. He's got the head of a chainsaw, 2 arms that are chainsaws, and he does various deeds, theoretically for good. Yeah, he basically just kills fools.
I mean, because they're dripping in blood. So.
Oh yeah, this is if it is Pokemon, it's adult Pokemon. I mean, there are devils in this that get sliced and diced and chopped and eviscerated and everything else. And because it is anime, it is very Japanese. It's just a lot of fun, and it's bonkers. It's barking mad, but great fun. And I have honestly, I've had to make myself watch some other stuff this week. Otherwise, I would have ended up just talking Chainsaw Man for the whole show. It's great. And so very fun story. Absolutely crackers. I definitely recommend it if you get a chance to pick it up. It won't be expensive, I don't think, because it didn't cost a lot here.
I think it's on in terms Amazon of audio here.
Okay, well,
I think I'm reading that it's on Amazon
Prime
here.
Prime as in or Amazon as in disc.
Amazon Prime Video. I'm
okay. All right.
I think that's what they're saying. I'm on IMDb right now, and it's saying
if you can rent a couple of episodes,
it's like a so it's obviously a series. Yeah.
Oh, it is. And as I said, it is crazy. And Denshi is a young teenager who basically wants to live long enough not to right wrongs and to be Chainsaw Man. He wants to live long enough to get with a girl. And that's all he really spends his entire life thinking about is am I going to live long enough to do that? And occasionally becomes Chainsaw Man. So it's bonkers. It's great fun. In terms of audio, video is really nice because again, it's anime, so you get the 2D on 3D backgrounds. It's a modern show, so it looks really nice, and it all kind of it seamlessly is dubbed into English. The acting's really good, so there's no problem with any of that. And the audio is decent. It's not earth-shattering. It is an animated cartoon at the end of the day, so it's not going to completely rearrange your room, but it does have some nice surround stuff. It's got some good music in it, which rather amusingly, the music is in Japanese, and then you get the subtitles of what the music is, what they are singing, and it's bonkers in and of itself. So it's worth it for that too. So yeah, I had a great time with this. I'm really enjoying the series, and I'm glad I've got it. And so yeah, I mean, I appreciate
2 seasons. Did you get both seasons?
Well, there's only one. I don't think the second one's out yet. I think that's coming. I think so anyway. But I'll be picking up the second season based on this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers, but in a way that it's supposed to be. And as I say, there's some proper violence in this. Things get sliced and diced.
Proper.
They really do. Oh yeah, proper. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So yeah, it's great. And one memorable fight that apparently lasts for 3 days. And the cinematography on it's really good. The action scenes are really well done. Again, bearing in mind it's a teenager with the head of a chainsaw and 2 chainsaws for arms, but it really
Tough
is
to get
good.
a girlfriend, but okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he is a cut above the rest. So I definitely recommend this. I've really enjoyed this week. And as I said, I could have just happily just talked this, but I've managed to make myself watch some other stuff. But you'll notice that this week, all the stuff I've watched has been short because I didn't want to take a lot of time out of it to watch, so I wanted to see this. So I've only watched short movies this week.
Yeah, so 12 episodes, 25 minutes each. And I guess, yes, season 2 is coming, but this one it was out in October of 22 and then ended in January of 23. But I think they're saying it's playing on Amazon, but I couldn't confirm that. So,
yeah. Well, if it is in the US, then you can watch the first episode. Will tell you whether you like it or not. But I think you'll enjoy it. It is not Blue Eyed Samurai. It's not that.
No,
but it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And I think if you can go with it, then I think you'll get a lot out of it.
Cool. Yeah, I know, John, you're interested for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, especially after I saw that picture.
That's great.
That looks like something you would have drawn when we were in high school.
Yeah, that right there gets me all riled up. So
yeah,
wouldn't that have got you sent to the principal if you drawn that at high school?
Yeah, I'm calling my parents.
Yeah,
got some disturbing images here.
Yeah, this is gonna be really popular someday. With who?
With who? I don't know, but somebody.
This guy in England is a few years younger than me.
Yeah.
Or Spain or wherever the hell he's living right now. Cool. All right. Yeah, we cooked through that show. That was good. We're a minute over already on Steve. He's got a long day tomorrow, so thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for listening, watching, participating in the chat. We had some great comments going on in the chat at the end there that we couldn't get to because we had to speed things up a bit. Sorry about that. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Look for the broken down episodes on YouTube, live on Tuesdays. Audio only podcasts comes out on Tuesdays, the Takeover Tuesday episodes. Next week will be just that's me wrapping up. So the next Tuesday will be me wrapping up the month of January and the comments that I got from emails and YouTube and stuff like that. So email us at email me dj@brightsidehometheater.com and we'll get you on the show. We'll do Takeover Tuesdays. I got a few lined up, a few guests already lined up, having fun with that. Anything else, guys? Oh, thank you to all the Patreon supporters. I know I haven't gotten to you yet, but as you can see, I've been busy working behind the scenes trying to, as John said last year, DJ's always revamping everything anyways. But we will get to another Zoom call on that on Patreon. And next week, we got to come up with a charity for January. I did do one. I told everybody in December, maybe I told you guys. I don't think we even talked about that. We did donate to a family in December for Christmas. And maybe we'll talk. One of you guys can remind me of that, but we'll do a charity next week too. So we make sure we give away all the money everybody's giving us. So thank you very much. Look, there goes John's eyes. John's like, can't teach this kid anything. So not all the money. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. And you know what you got to do. Why didn't it play?
Go push play.
What he said.
There we go.
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.
Okay.
Oh, we're still on.